Mr. Worth Kick Legend, today we're going to talk to you about some dirty boxing ideas. So I'm here with Kurt at MKG Detroit, who has a traditional Filipino martial arts program. And in addition to teaching the theory and basic drills, he spends a lot of time teaching the application. And that can be to boxing, MMA, Thai boxing, what have you. So if you're interested in adding some new tricks to your arsenal into your fight game, I highly recommend you come check them out in Ferndale, Michigan.
So what we're going to look at today is the concept of attacking the limbs. It's a very common theme that you see in Filipino martial art, and it's been done and applied in a lot of different ways in sports like boxing for a very long time. Okay, so traditionally we would work something called a gunting. It's a scissoring motion. So when Roy throws a jab, for example, we would be while parrying, hitting his arm through like that, trapping over and following up from there. So that kind of technique is valid in this context, with gloves on and in a competition, but we can minimize it, simplify it a little bit by way of just hitting the limb, right? And again, it's something that's been done for generations. So when Roy throws the jab, our first one is to just uppercut the arm. Typically, we're aiming for the bicep or the funny bone in this area here, right? Upper part of the arm. Obviously not a knockout shot, and nor is it meant to be, but over time, it really degrades the value of his punch and his ability to be as mobile as he wants with that limb. If it's done enough and with good enough accuracy or power to it, the arm just kind of starts to shut off. It becomes more or less useless for him. So, first one here is to just move around and hit the arm, right? Hit like this. Hit. So not big shots. When they are big, you'd be surprised at how much it actually really does hurt. So starting off, we're just picking these off, more of tag, getting used to making contact with it like this. Sometimes we can use the other one, right, which always modifies into the uppercut, but otherwise, really just looking for this inside shot. I mean, we slip here like this, okay? So right away, when we work this as a drill, the first one is for him to jab. I'm gonna step a little bit, slip outside, and uppercut the arm from the outside. So I'm in a safe position here to just hit this, right? I'm not overcommitting in any way, just pat, like that. The second one is to slip inside and hit a tight uppercut like this. So no scooping uppercut, just a quick shot. Now that's gonna land me in front of his rear hand. So the way that we work this is for the inside one to hit and move out right away. Hit and move out right away. Or the follow-up, this is what I like to practice and to teach, is to hit this, and since you know that rear hand is coming because you're standing in front of it, to launch that same hand against his rear hand. So when the jab comes in, uppercut, and immediately move to trapping the inside of that rear hand. Now I'm in an anchored position to hit, or I can box in tight, or I can clinch, again, whatever your application is going to look like for you. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, follow up. Another way that we approach this then is just starting from our hands up position, right, whether we're moving around, whatever, but instead of responding to his jab with it, we're going to initiate with it. So from here I just tap, like that. Again, this is a really good way to frustrate your opponent and degrade their use of their arm a little bit. Pat, like that, just little shots. He's usually not accustomed to seeing this line. It's then fairly easy to build off of this as a concept. So we clear this line and follow up right away. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you saw the video that we did to get that shit out of your video, this is a similar concept, but we're using it here for more of a traditional stance and just attacking, and then patting a little bit for a bigger attack. So not only is it a decent technique for a long-term strategy, but it also opens up bigger shots.
By the way, when Kurt hits that aside, my mind is thinking I want to fire that right hand, but my body's actually stalled for a second, right? That interrupts you just long enough for him to get to safety or fire another shot, right? So when Kurt does it, my mind is thinking throw the cross, and that is something that you have to be mindful of, right? So after you hit it a few times, you may stay center maybe the first couple, but afterwards you really have to think about either getting offline or interrupting that right hand.
One, hit, hit, tag, like that.
Oh, an interesting byproduct of that punch is it sends my glove to obstruct my view of his right hand for a second, right? When he propels that, when he's going with that right hand, I actually see it much later than you would think. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Check it out, put it into your sparring, see how it works for you. When you do it with your MMA gloves, you're gonna find it hurts a lot more, so you may wanna ease up, or it may convince you about how effective this really is. This is Roy with Kurt here at MKG Detroit. Again, please check him out if you're interested in this kind of stuff, if you wanna put it into your fight game or your sparring. Keep your chin down, elevate your striking.